Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Tuesday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's time for Tuesdays with Tim and Jeff. Jeff is on a well-deserved break, and today I'm very happy to introduce Justin, G0KSC. He's the CEO and owner of Innov Antennas. Welcome.
Another try, guys.
Yes, and Carsten is also with us, DL6LAU from WiMo, and nice to have you, Carsten.
So it's working now, Tim? Hi.
Yes, yeah, we're on live, Carsten, and the sun is in your face.
That's right. Should set in 2 minutes maybe, so sorry for that.
Okay, no problem at all. So Justin is on from England, and Carsten is on from Germany, and so we're very happy to have both of you here. And so let's talk, before we get into the announcement, Justin, you want to talk about the relationship between Innov and WiMo in Germany?
Yeah, sure. We have been, or I've been designing antennas and making antennas for, 11 years now. We're doing that on the G0KSC website, where I was publishing designs for people to build themselves, and then decided to do them myself. And as things transitioned, and to cut a very long story short, with the setup at WiMo, they have the ability to use CNC equipment and produce in very high volumes. And that was a compliment. There was a lot of synergy there for us to be able to use the abilities of WiMo to produce the high volume antennas for us. And with the Brexit, for a lot of people that don't know what it is, the UK came out of the European Union. Most of our sales, 85%, are outside of the UK. So having a manufacturer base that was still in Europe was also another win-win. Now, WiMo have been making a number of our antennas successfully for, 2 years or more, Carsten?
2.5 years, I think. Yes, right.
So we've decided between us it would be a good idea and just time to start expanding that range into some other areas. And to add to that, WiMo, because of the distribution and supply chain that they have, are going to handle the distribution and supply of all of our antennas at the same time.
Oh, that is great news, Justin. And you know, everybody in Europe knows Innov. Everybody in Europe knows who WiMo is. So two very well established companies now working together. And Carsten, you must be very excited about the relationship you have now with Innov.
Absolutely. Just from the beginning, the 2.5 years, it just was a great relationship with Justin. So and of course also a big trust he gave into us and our production. He revealed his designs to us. We made all these antennas. So really was a super good relation. And as Justin said, now with Brexit, kind of all things came together. Justin in the future can more not really relax. He's not the guy who will ever relax, but he can design more new great antennas. We have so many great antennas in mind who could be great products in the very near future. And of course, we are very, very glad to have the opportunity to very soon build all Innov antennas at our facility in Germany. I just looked up some numbers because I think some of the US guys might know WiMo that well, maybe. So we are the largest mainland European store manufacturer, I think. 60-something plus employees, and but as we will be talking about antennas, last year we bought aluminium round tubing in excess of 30 metric tons just for elements. And so that's something like, I think, 67,000 US pound, if I made the math right, or that equals to 183,000 feet of elements we made in Germany. And this is just round tubing. So we made also some square booms. So the aluminum trucks are really visiting us really frequently.
Well, we have some exciting news today that, and Carsten, let me know when you see the announcement here. It should come up hopefully soon. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, very good. Super.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So this is the announcement that came out this morning that WiMo, on behalf of Innov Antennas, has appointed DX Engineering as the exclusive North American distributor of Innov antenna products. So that means in North America, someday soon, you will be able to get the Innov antennas that are manufactured by WiMo, the Innov antennas, which have great quality and super designs, will be available at DX Engineering. And so there are 3 companies involved in this: WiMo, Innov, and DX Engineering. So we are absolutely thrilled. If you want to read this press release on our website, you can just type in Innov in the search. That's INNOV. And you can get the press release for yourself to take a look at. And speaking of some of the antennas, you want to talk about this antenna, the XR3C, Justin. Why don't you give our viewers a little tour of that antenna?
Sure. Well, this is a good example. It was the antenna that the Bove DXP guys had decided to take with them. That was their antenna of choice. They made an analysis of all of their various different tri-banders that they could take with them, and due to the harsh environments, they chose the XR3. Now, the reason that this is, or that the USPs, if you like, as far as I see it, is we reduced drastically the length of the boom on all of these tri-banders and 5-band and 6-band HF Yagis. So this one is less than 11 feet long, yet it uses the full size elements on 20, 15 and 10. This one that we're looking at is the C version, which has capacity loading on the tips, which means it's less than 30 feet wide and less than 11 feet long. So it's got a really tight and small footprint, yet the boom on it is 50 millimeters. So it's a 2-inch boom. And if you take, as an example, the 20-meter elements, in the center, they are 35 millimeters diameter. To put that into perspective, that's between 1 1/4 and 1 1/2 inch. And that's why in the picture that Tim's just put up there, all of the elements you can see are straight. So when you're in a harsh environment, one where you get a hell of a lot of ice loading, or somewhere like Florida, where you get some serious wind and hurricane season, that thing's going to stay there. And we were talking about this a little earlier, and we've not had, from the XR range, we've not had one reported failure to date.
Well, that is just tremendous. And let's talk about very popular antenna, which is the XR6. And let's take a look at the XR6, Justin. You want to talk about that?
Sure, yeah. Well, this is traditionally the 5-bander, if you like, was the tri-band Yagi, the 20, 15 and 10, with 17 meters and 12 meters added to that. What I did is I've added, you can see there's 2 small elements at the front of that antenna, and I've added 6 meters onto it as well. So from a single feed point, you've got everything from 20 to 6 meters in a 12-foot boom, and that's with full-sized elements. Now, what I've done to reduce the amount of interaction, 20, 15 and 10 use the traditional driven element and a reflector. And then when you get to 12, 10 and 6, it's driven element and director. So you've not got any more than 3 interlaced bands at any one point on the boom. Because as you know, the more bands you have interlaced, the less efficiency there is in the antenna. So even though it's very, very small, it's a highly efficient antenna, and there's no matching devices on there. All it is, it's a direct 50 ohm feed with a twin bar balance line feed between the feed points, and then 6 meters is passively coupled at the end, or open sleeve design for the feeding onto 6 meters. So, you know, any any requirement for power output or power input that anyone has will be fine on this. 5 kilowatt plus, no problem.
What about a choke or a balun? What is your recommendation there, Justin?
Well, of course, with the Yagi, it is a balanced antenna. So if you're feeding that with coax, which is an unbalanced feeder, then it's a good idea to have some form of choke. But it is always important these days to measure that, because we use a lot of very thick and very high quality coax. And often the sleeving on the coax, on a lot of high quality coax, is ironically a little bit too thick to give the desired amount of capacitance between the turns. So they can not be as effective as you might think, and certainly not as wide band as you may think. So I tend to recommend to use something that has a lower level of choking impedance, still ample, but a lower level, but will cover the whole range. So something like a ferrite core balun, that's going to cover all the way up to 6 meters, as long as you're using the right material in that balun.
Right. So we will be partnering up the DX Engineering line of baluns with the Innov antennas, so that it'll be quite easy for the customer to get the, for the antenna that he's purchasing, to get the right balun. Yeah. And we're thrilled to have this relationship going. And Carsten, you want to talk a little bit about the manufacturing of antennas that WiMo has lots of experience, and you just talked about tons and tons and tons of aluminum, and tons and tons of aluminum are going to be headed from WiMo to DX Engineering, so that we can satisfy customers better here in North America.
Definitely, Tim, and also let's move one step back. We are really delighted to have you at DX Engineering as carrying the Innov antenna line. WiMo and DX Engineering, as your customers might know, you are carrying some of our products. You will stock more, and the relation is just fantastic, very smooth. And so the obvious reason also, it was obvious to ask you first if you want to carry Innov antennas in North America. So WiMo started way back 25 years ago. Small company, basically started in a shed in a garage, with all components, but also on SHF. I think the very first Yagis, in fact, were SHF, so 23 centimeter, 13 centimeter line of Yagis we made. We have our own 2 meter, 70 centimeter line of antennas also. Recent years we bought E-antennas out of Spain, so E-antennas is now part of family in Germany. The stuff from E-antenna moved to Germany. Rod, EA7 Juliet X-ray is supervising the E-antenna production in Germany. We do special antennas for special needs, also now in cooperation with Justin, for instance. As you know, NASA ordered a huge log periodic in the US, who will be supplied by you. So I think we have something like 12 or 13 people at WiMo are dedicated full-time, just building antennas 5 days a week, from the morning to the afternoon.
Well, we all can agree that one of the very biggest, most important part of an amateur radio station is the antenna.
Yeah, sure.
Frequently people say, customers say, what can I do to improve my station? Should I buy an amplifier? Well, maybe, but get a good antenna first.
Yeah,
and Justin, you've been designing antennas and you contribute to the ARL antenna book, and you've had a lot of success. So you've got great experience. So that, coupled with the manufacturing ability of WiMo, and then you put it together with DX Engineering, I don't know, it just doesn't get any better.
No, I agree. We're really excited about it. Obviously, we've been speaking about this for some time and getting everything in place between us. And Carsten and I, we speak twice a week on a number of different matters, getting things in place. And, it's one of those highlights for the company here to be able to have not just a reseller now in the US, which is something that we're asked for daily. Do you have a reseller in the US? Do you have a distributor in the US? And it's something that is going to make a difference. But with that, the DX engineering backing, and with the ability for people to do the Amazon style purchase with ham radio gear, you purchase in the evening, you get it the next day. That's incredible. So it's going to make a big difference. And as Carsten mentioned, we got some real great stuff to come. One of the things that this is going to do by having Carsten and the guys at WiMo handling a lot of the day-to-day distribution is I can concentrate on the new stuff. And ironically, you said about the ARRL antenna book. Our friend Ward, he from the ARRL, he works for the ARRL on a number of publications, the annual book and the antenna book, and it's the 100th edition of the ARRL handbook, I think, as well. Anyway, he's emailed me today and asked me if I will contribute this year as well. So we're going to be working on that over the next few months. That needs to be sorted by the end of the year. But one of the things that we're going to be covering in that is the aspects of antenna correction, something which we've all been a little bit acceptant of, which is a fixed level of correction per element on VHF, UHF antennas, and why that needs to go to percentage base. What we have been doing here is we've been working with ANSYS HFSS to model every aspect of the antenna, from insulators, booms, and the impact of everything around the antenna, including coax, to get antennas that are extremely accurate. And then we've transitioned, or what I'm looking to do in the ARRL book or antenna book this time, is transition that into a correction table as well. So there's lots of stuff going on. We've just done a big defense system, which was based on the Optes Yagis, and that was all manufactured by WiMo in Germany. That was the first installation. It's for an over-horizon radar system, and there's more of those to come. So it's all looking pretty good. And like the one that you've just done for NASA, which they ordered, which is already a product, that's something that hams are going to be able to buy as well through DX Engineering.
So yeah, the commercial designs that you're doing are actually going to benefit amateur radio customers.
Sure.
So that is really cool. And my relationship with Carsten goes back probably 20 years now. He's been coming and operating in this room. It's not a green screen,
Yeah, right.
And Carsten is a phenomenal operator. Typically, we have him on 15. But what I love about when Carsten is operating, he's just so smooth. He's going between English and German and French, and he's got everybody all tuned up. So it is very good. Speaking of good friends, our friend Kevin, KL7KY, up in the Anchorage area of Alaska, he says he's very pleased with the Innov antennas, top shelf materials, and an excellent design. And in fact, Kevin used to work for me at Cellular One and AT&T, and Kevin, W3YQ, just left a little bit ago, and I'll pass your 73 to him. Also, G1 Mike Hotel Juliet, I think, is on with us as well, and Mike KE3 Juliet Papa is on. So got fans all over the place, and really very, very excited about this. Carsten, let's talk just for a minute about your capabilities. I mean, one of the concerns that sometimes when we bring a line on is that we're going to give you too many orders, and because we want to have this stuff on the shelf. That's our goal. Just like Justin said, if somebody wants to buy an antenna, I want it on the shelf, and it ships that night. So are you going to be ready to accept all these orders?
Definitely, and yes, we definitely can. And we at WiMo have the same concept. So we have close to 4,500 products. 95% are available at any given time. We expect great orders from you guys. We saw that in the past on other products, so that's for sure. But we we are already kicking around, that idea on that container going very frequently between WiMo and the US. Also, that the boxes are you get the boxes in a much better shape, so no mishandling, at least on the way to your place. We can ramp up even more production. Pretty easy. We will get some new machinery already ordered in late autumn. That is a laser cutting machine, huge one, that will laser cut a lot of the material we do. And so in the beginning, customers have to be a little bit patient because, it just, as you also are a large enterprise, so it just, people typically have no idea, I think, how long are we talking about that now? Maybe 8 weeks or so. And so it takes 8 to 10 weeks until, this kind of relation starts. Then we get the initial order, then we produce for you, then it's all shipped to the US. But after this initial phase of 2-3 months, I think customers are expecting and can expect that you can serve them from your stock. And if there's any need in between, we are always flexible. There was it KB9Z or something like that. He needed an antenna, 6-meter one, I think, or so. So we just do that one antenna, send to the guy who needs it for whatever reason. So we are flexible if needed.
Yeah, no, that's very good. And the best way to stay up on what's going on with the antennas coming to the US and being in stock at DX Engineering is to sign up for our newsletter. The DX Engineering newsletter has a lot of great stuff in it, and we will keep the customers updated through that newsletter and on the website, and of course on social media. So we're very excited about that. So, this was a very, very, very quick interview, but stay tuned for more. We're going to have you guys on again, probably a little ribbon cutting when we have that first container show up.
Yeah, cool.
I'll go over to meet the container and see everything being unpacked, and we'll start delivering to customers. But I want to thank Carsten, DL6LAU, and Justin, G0KSC, for coming on today. It was a great show, and we look forward to doing lots of business with you guys.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Tim.
Yeah, great. Thanks, and we'll look forward to working with you.
And if we can help you have more fun with the best hobby in the world, just call us DX Engineering. We'll help you however we can. Until Thursday for the Manufacturer Showcase, 73 from DX Engineering.